It's names we tend to see come up little enough, unfortunately. But we should be getting underway relatively soon here. I believe the cup mode is about to be initiated. Now, what they've said is that the points limit does go up to 120. Your rounds per map does go up to 100. Rounds, what am I talking about? Rounds per map goes up to 4 instead of 3.
Okay.
So, you will at least not see as many maps, I don't think.
I think I've not seen this track here yet.
Yeah, actually, same.
I don't know,
it doesn't look like some of the players have seen this track either.
So maybe it's not a map that they have played or something like that. I mean, the map name is really, yeah. I think it's not a cup map here. On one of the maps.
I think this is a new map. Because none of the players know how to play it.
That's weird.
I like that idea, though.
Yeah, to add a map that...
Oh, there's even a steering killer there. Well.
Hey, what? This is weird. I would be good here because I'm a fast learner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no steer. And then we have freewheel again, which you can avoid. Wait, what?
But one of the most important benefits here, though, is something. This is a mystery map, so we've got a mystery map. I like that.
I like that idea as well.
One of the most important things here, though, is the likes of GranaDy has a collar, and I believe some of the other players also have collars, which is very important going on to a map which you're not so familiar with. You know?
Yep. I mean, they can just tell what the tactics are, and I think we will see a very solid round on the first round here. As you can see, it's warm-up, and 6 minutes the players can practice the map, as it seems.
Yeah.
Or 7 minutes. So I think players will actually fast learn this track. Of course, they can't push it to the limit here, but I think that we will see some good times. But who do you think, who's the fastest learner here? Is it the old school Call? Is it MimoJr, Dionysos, or maybe GranaDy playing with his wheel, which is really remarkable to say the least?
Well, I would say GranaDy has a very big benefit on a map like this because he has one of the, probably the most versatile player in Trackmania, with a very few exceptions of Marius, of course, being in his corner, telling him, because not only he's going to know what techniques other people are trying and all the rest of that, and he has shown to be very versatile across all the different mapping, all the different maps here, but one thing I would say I've always noticed from Mimo, he seems to be quite a fast learner, and he does also have the backup of Worker as well, and both players are, in their own right, extremely versatile, and he has been one of only 2 players who's actually even finished this map. GranaDy and Carl have not yet finished, so, I mean, he's at the very least getting off to a good start.
I mean, it seems that Carl is really struggling here and not even finding the right way. As I'm spectating him right now, he is... very, very far behind, as you can see. He's taking a wrong way, or maybe he's rerouting it. I don't know, but yeah, look at this. He's not getting the way. That's weird. Or he's just throwing. I don't know, but I can't see why you should not take this one serious right now, because it's semifinal. There's money on the line, and he made it that far. So this is weird to see that Carl is not able to, finish this track here.
One thing I'm possibly thinking about, though, I mean, you think what Carl stands for. Carl, of course, as I said, the OG Grand Champion. He is one of the most experienced players in the game, of course, with taking quite a big breakout in the last few years. But, I mean, maybe another thing to think, maybe he's not fully read the rules. Maybe he didn't know this was happening. And if you can imagine spending all these time preparing all these tracks, and then you get told, oh, by the way, we're trying a new track that no one else has played before. I can imagine that would mess with your head quite a little bit.
Yeah, of course. And I think what is also a problem for him, maybe, that he is like a little bit of an, as you said, an old school player, and maybe he didn't like evolve or come with the community, and therefore maybe he doesn't know how to really learn a track that fast. If you have like things that were not a thing back in 2006. I don't know. I mean, I could see.
I mean, I reckon some of these players weren't a thing in 2006.
Yeah, I mean. Oh wow, yeah. 2000, that's like 15 years ago almost.
Feels bad, man. Feels old, man.
Yeah, feels old, man. I'm getting old. I mean, I'm playing the game for, I don't want to say it, 11 years already.
Oh my god.
You're quite new, right?
Well, I've played the game like casually, like completely isolated from the professional side of things since like 2007, but I only started even getting close to any competitive styles in like 2015. So
Ooh.
yeah, I guess I'm both new and old then, so I don't feel as bad.
I mean, but still, starting in 2007, that's, yeah, pretty... So you heard from the game in 2007, and then you came in touch with it again.
Yeah, mostly I was just playing maps which took no real technique whatsoever, just maps that were nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean...
No tech slides to worry about, no complicated dirt parts. I didn't even know what speed sliding was until like 3 years ago, you know?
Okay, I mean, I played a little bit more, but I usually only play the low maps, and yeah, have this team called Luckers.
Mm-hmm. As we see in the Twitch name, representing well.
Yeah, LuckersTurbo.
Yeah, I'm back to being isolated, yeah. Not yet, at the very least. We'll see. Oh, see Dionysos actually going for a cut here.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
that's going to be quite a big brain here. I mean, the one thing is about this, though, is even if he has found a cut and he is going for a cut, like I said, I mean, if someone's calling for a player, like prime example as I was saying, Marius for GranaDy, GranaDy's now going to know about that cut, you know, so...
Yeah, and I know because Marius is very good at explaining, and he's a smart guy, you know? And
yeah.
He will do the best to help GranaDy helping him, or like do the best to like granting himself an advantage, not an advantage, but help him. Yeah.
Yeah, Marius is a big boost to anyone's corner, so to speak.
Okay, Dionysos, he really needs to make some homework here. The landing wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it could be fast. I think it is actually faster.
Yeah, and as you can see here, GranaDy actually went for that as well.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we're talking about, yeah.
So now we have a battle here. Let's actually see what GranaDy is doing here. Actually, cool to see the states of learning a map and then to rerouting it. That's actually pretty cool. I really like that idea.
As Ratchet says in the chat, actually, by doing that route, you missed the ring CP. So that has already been thought of. Because I was wondering why his local didn't change there, but he misses a CP doing that. So
true, yeah.
No bueno.
No bueno, as GranaDy is fading the end here. Yeah, it was actually the CP that got caught in, and not the last CP, and not the finish. So I got debated by that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But we've got 35 seconds left, and... I mean, I said Mimo going into this as I thought was going to be maybe the one who would have the advantage going into this, but I mean, everyone looks relatively even. I mean, GranaDy's got a second faster, but I would say that's more because he's got the clean run more than anyone else, having figured out the track any faster or anything like that. So, I mean, definitely, I would say it's anyone's game coming into this, but they did say it's only going to be, what did they say again? It's only going to be 2 rounds on this map. So even if
improving.
Well, yeah. So I mean, definitely anyone's game considering it's only 0.9. But as the guest of honor, why don't you take it away?
I mean, it's quite a lot it gives you a good start into the match, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this could be then. I mean, you could take the momentum with you, take some confidence. Maybe release a little bit of that pressure and something like that, because now it's on the line, and there's actually, I think 200 euro is on the line. First it's 100, and then we have 50, 35 and 15, I think, if I remember correctly.
So the stakes are high for this, and I mean, GranaDy and Carl are the ones in the lead in round number 1 here at the moment. And looking good at the very least is GranaDy going through that jump, and the finish should be relatively easy as long as don't clip the inside. Ooh, Carl, a little bit awkward there, but they've clearly found their feet on this track. But it's a question of whether or not they're going to be able to get up to speed in order to challenge even each other at this stage. I mean, like these kind of matches, especially in this format, it seems like it's just going to come down to who survives more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, GranaDy was 2 seconds out of the second place, and this just shows your thesis that if you survive this track here, you will most likely get first or second here as we go into the next, or to the last round on this track already, right? As you've seen, as you said that
gone 2 rounds.
Oh, GranaDy with a lot of speed as well as Cole. So very good start here. Both went for the no jump. GranaDy almost came into touch with the pull there, but it's looking good for him. But it's right now Cole in first. Dionysos is out on this round. And let's see, both are going for that smooth dump. Actually, it's only GranaDy going for it, and it's not paying off. As you can see, Cole is in first. So who's gonna take it here? Cole also with a good alignment here into that last section of the map. But he touches there, makes the flip, and Dionysos...
Oh wait, Dionysos got it!
Wait, what?
GranaDy didn't get the magnet on the way down.
Oh, what was happening? Oh my god, so GranaDy from apparently first to second. But what happened to Cole there? He didn't get the magnet there.
Yeah. Oh, because you can jump over the magnet. That's the problem.
Wow, so what a clown fiesta. You can just say it like that. And yet, let's see. GranaDy with 16 points, Dionysos with 14. So he really capitalized from the mistakes from both Carl and GranaDy. Very good.
But, I mean, normality has been restored now. We are back to a map which we do actually know about at the very least. But, yeah, that was bizarre, to say the least. I definitely wasn't expecting that when this match started. But, again, normality restored. We do go back into Le Drogzu, one of many weirdly named maps at the very least. This is a map I believe is solely on tarmac, so I mean, you've got to say a map solely on the grey stuff is definitely going to suit the OG world champion.
I don't know if this one will actually be in favor of him, because the mapping used to be so much different back then. I mean, you've seen 2006 tracks, and you just see the communities evolving, and right now in the warm-up it's not looking too good for him. I mean, he has the pace, he is strong, but eventually 15 years of like process in the game will also improve the player base in general, and I don't really see Cole doing... I mean, he can get first here, but I don't think that he will rush through like a Laurel or someone like that. I don't think that. But we will see.
For sure.
We will see now in the first round here.
Because we've got a lot of really good players here. I mean, it isn't just that we have one front runner who's just going to dismantle the track, of course. But, I mean, Carl, coming back to Trackmania 2 within the last year or so, has had the chance to get himself back into the groove, to be able to expect how the tech scene is developing, of course. I'm going to take it from his perspective here as you jump into the downhill. And a lot of mistakes have been made on, at least in the quarterfinal on this track. GranaDy was a beneficiary of most of them, so I'm certainly thinking he'll hope for it to be the same, but does find himself dropping down into third here, goes for the risk, but just a little bit of an awkward line there, and he's going to fall. But Dionysos trying to keep up with Carl here, but I mean, the OG himself coming into the last section, and it looks as if he's going to be good to start off with 10 points, so...
Yep.
At least making up for some lost ground, especially in that the new map there, as we'll see it. Definitely getting some points back.
So my thesis was definitely wrong there, I would say, because Carl is popping it off. But the loser right now of all 3 rounds is Mimo, only with 10 points and in dead last. As we can see, it's such a close fight here between first, second, and third. So maybe Cole will capitalize from this round again. As we go into the second round here, Cole again with a very superior start here over the other players. Mimo is, however, now in the mix, and he is really in need of those points to stay in contact with the players. Oh, Carl, I thought for a minute that he would touch there, but that wasn't the case, as Dionysos comes back strong here into the long right-hander we go.
Oh, it's close.
Oh, yeah, that's really close. Let's go a bit... Oh, who was that? It was actually Dionysos. Oh, no, it was Mimo, right?
No, Dionysos is dead.
Yeah, Dionysos is dead, and now it's GranaDy in that third place. Mimo, however, in second, and we will see Cole yet again with a 43.98 in first place. So great job by the OG Cole here. Great performance so far here for him on this track.
But this reminds me a lot of kind of TMM tracks in the way that it's an easy map just on the face of things. I mean, if you just to take the map itself, many players could get around the map without having that much issue. Yep. However, by it being easier means that you need to risk more to get good times. So Indeed. You're seeing a lot of players kind of going balls to the walls, so to speak, just trying to keep themselves that 1/10 or 100th ahead, because that's what it's going to come down to in these rounds, especially if the players don't make mistakes. But Mimo starting off this round with a mistake certainly isn't going to be the beneficiary of many mistakes in this round. But moving up We do see Dionysos once again up at the top, and a face I must
Carl
admit
with a
I
good
don't really
line.
recognise, but look at that speed from Carl. He had to cut it down a little bit there as he didn't want to make connection with the outside pole, but he is going as close to the walls as you want, but had to release. Now GranaDy overtakes.
Ooh.
And he's going to get close here, but
Okay.
GranaDy should take it. And that's a win for Dionysos, and that's a much-needed 10 points, as he did find himself in third place, but now he'll move up 1 point behind first.
Yeah,
What
but
a start.
what a great round. And actually Carl had to release there because he would have touched the wall there. And now we can see Dionysos actually, because his first map was so good, he's equal now with Carl, who only got third place because GranaDy got a really good ending line there and manages to grant himself that second place. Alright, so good start for all of the players here. No mistakes have been done by all of them. It's only MimoJr who drops a little bit further behind, but he's still in the mix, 1 car length, and also Carl drops goes for a little bit of a different line, grants himself more speed. Look at this. He just snacks GranaDy as a side dish here and moves up to second place. So Dionysos still in first place. He gets pressured by Carl, the OG Carl, who's gonna take it. Dionysos with a rather inside line, and Carl goes for so much speed. Carl is faster in the end. Who's gonna take it? I think it's Carl with more speed. It's neck and neck here, but Dionysos comes back strong here in the ending, and Dionysos will stay in first. What a great round here, and 43.87 by Dionysos. What a great round. Oh man.
Yeah, that was a beautiful round, and what a pace being set by the players up at the top as well. Dionysos recovering really well after Carl get a great boost of speed to catch up with him, and really showing what he's got here. But that is at least map number 1 of the maps we knew about is in the bag now. So we now move on to Chickies, which, if I remember correctly, is also a full tarmac map. So I mean, this is really not a good start for some of the players who were counting on it being a bit more multi-style here. They're definitely being put on the back foot early.
Yeah, I mean, GranaDy really looks strong on dirt, and I think he has a chance here because it's not pure OG tech. It's now it's now full speed into like everything. It's so versatile, as you can see. Some transitions here where you really want to land in the slope. Then another transition here. It's tight jump into an auto drift, which you have to continue. Like it's so much is going on here on this map again, and this is what really makes this cup unique. So a lot of things that I've not seen on a lot of tracks yet. So really nice to see that. And I think GranaDy is one of the players here who's right now in the warm-up first, who can perform the best here. I'm really curious to see if Carl can keep up with the pace of the players. I'm really
I must say, GranaDy in the rounds previous was very supremely consistent in this track. He was always getting a good time in it. Even if he wasn't getting first place, he was very close. I'm expecting GranaDy to surge ahead here in the points at the very least. He is currently 10 behind Dionysos, so I mean, he does still have a little bit of a gap left, but he has 4 rounds on this map, and I would say it's his best map that I've seen out of them so far. And yeah, I mean, 102.6 to start us off with in the warm-up definitely isn't shabby at all. But looking to make up for lost time, I would say, as GranaDy didn't start off ideally to this match, is in third place here at the moment. And again, it is only top 2 that proceed. There is no loser bracket here. You're down and out if you're bottom 2. So GranaDy, this is the last chance to get himself part of the grand final itself, of course. The next match will be semi-final number 2, but we are sticking with 1 here at the moment. And GranaDy off to a little bit of a poor start here. Now he's going to find himself 3/10s behind. He was at best later on in the track, so he does still have a chance here. There is this jump coming up, which the players can choose to risk and go for a really low jump here. Carl and
GranaDy failing!
GranaDy. So again, maybe with that being such a hard technique to go for, going for such a low jump, I mean, it is again a kind of all or nothing technique, and he's going to be out of this round, so nothing is what he gets instead of all the points potentially going his way. But Carl, what a lead here so early on, 3/10 of a lead. Mimo does have a lot of speed coming out of here, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get a 3/10s gap. It'd certainly be a miracle if it was, but going into the final turnover here and into the ending, Carl, Super Carloof does take it, and what a time there, a 102.79, and I mean, it's almost as if GranaDy's thrown the gauntlet down and Carl's just answered the challenge.
Yeah, so Carl is just putting the GranaDy gauntlet on, and he will just march through here. As you can see, Carl is taking that first place yet again after Dionysos really performed good on the first 2 maps, or just above average. And GranaDy is losing track to that second place. 11 points it is between him and Dionysos. But look at Mimo. He's even further behind. Only 29 points for the Frenchman. As we see him having a good start. Went for a little bit of a flow trick. Granted himself a little bit more speed. But couldn't really transfer it. As he's touching the roadblock there, you could have seen his car tilted a bit. And we see yet again GranaDy dropping a bit behind. He finds himself roughly 0.3 to 0.4 of a second behind the leader, if not even more. Let's see if players are risking it here, going for that low jump. GranaDy is definitely going for that, and he does it fine, but he's not catching up too much. As we're approaching a little bit of a grass section where you want to not slide too much in order to not lose a lot of speed. Oh, it's actually super close. Dionysos taking over the lead. Mimo went for a little bit of a outside line and therefore had more speed. So let's see who's gonna take it. Cole went for the jump, so that was really risky, but it paid off. So who will get that first place? It's Cole with more speed. Mimo is also overtaking Dionysos, and it will most likely be Cole, but it can all happen here in the end. You can fail it, but Cole will stay, and as Mimo will overtake him with oh my god, what was that line from Mimo in the end? Holy moly, what a great line from him. Great round here to for Mimo, and this is exactly what he needs. And now actually GranaDy is down to last as Mimo is equaling him, Paul.
What an ending though, and I mean, just going even from the last rounds there, we've had good players coming through all steps of this tournament, but the pace is really heating up now. We're seeing not only the players who perhaps just had a lot of good ability, or the players who have maybe not had the ability but put in the man hours. We're seeing a combination of both now. We're seeing good players, we're seeing committed players here to, of course, taking home some sort of prize from the Evoleaf Cup. But at the moment, we are seeing Mimo and GranaDy off the poor starts here. GranaDy actually gets a good amount of speed going through there. He's going to go for the low jump and he pulls it off well. Carl now makes the mistake and he moves down to third position, so he's going to lose some points here. Dionysos with a very strong lead up here at the top. Mimo kind of jumps in there and GranaDy makes a mistake as well as Mimo, and Dionysos is all on his own up here at the top. Carl's actually going to rescue 6 points from this as long as he doesn't make a mistake. And that must be said, I mean, we were talking up the standard of the rounds cursed the match instead of just a specific player this time. But, I mean, shall we say, what can we say after that? But what a time there from Dionysos. Wow. He doesn't want to be outshone by Carl or GranaDy there. He's coming to play as well, and he's coming to win.
Yeah, so really lucky for Carl there that he actually got himself that 6 points after he made a mistake. But GranaDy, he really looked strong. He was only 0.1 behind Dionysos, but he threw it away, as well as Mimo, who pushed it a bit too much. But look at that. We have a really, really huge gap between second. I mean, first place is occupied by 2 players because they're equal. And then we have 18 points between the second and the third place. So this is already super, super much, and players need to push it. Of course, we play till a point limit of 120. And then a player has to win one more round in order to qualify yourself for the grand final. But going on to the next one, we have Mimo not having the best start here, as he finds himself 0.3 of a second behind, not getting the best amount of speed over that stretch because he went very far inside and therefore finds himself a little bit further behind. But all of a sudden, it's Dionysos making a mistake and he comes even closer towards Carl. So let's see what Mimo can pull off here. Goes for a very risky line yet again and touches the CP again. So he will be out here on that. Right now, it's GranaDy on first. But Carl goes for the attack as his line is not paying off, and he touches, and he is definitely not gonna make it into the top 2 here. Dionysos in second place, so very anticlimactic round unless someone will make a mistake. But GranaDy will stay in first with a 1:02.75, which is also a very good time. And yeah, this is exactly what GranaDy is needing, because Dionysos and Cole could both run away, because they already have surpassed that 60-point barrier.
I mean, that was really impressive times coming out in this map. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, the players, as I said, definitely turning up the heat here. They've really looked good coming through this section. And in that map, at the very least, it seemed like we had a good time coming out from pretty much everyone throughout all of that. So, looking good from all parties involved at the very least there. But now, we move on to another map. And finally, we're going to see a bit of dirt coming in.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see who is going to perform the best here on the dirt tarmac. If it's going to be GranaDy, or maybe Mimo, or maybe the OG Cole, who's known for his tech skills. But, I mean, he just showed that he is a diverse player as well. I mean, everyone here has kind of... Everyone has a reason to be in this semi-final, and you can really see that every player has the pace. Mimo, even though he's in last place, he dropped some good times already, but he needs to push it a little bit more. As we see, Dionysos is first in the warm-up, but of course, everything can happen here, and I've seen some really close rounds here, where players really did risk it here in the end and jumped so low into the risky finish.
Yeah, for sure, but a really nice time to start off there with Dionysos, 0.461 being done. And I mean, the fastest times we're seeing here are not as great in terms of the locals, if you'll see. I mean, we do have Carl 8, GranaDy 9, Dionysos 10, so they're all very, very close together, of course. But going into round number 1 here, starting off with another player who has been very consistent on this map, GranaDy himself. Of course, you need to keep it very smooth coming down these platforms as well, but all of the players seem to nail that technique without much issue. But GranaDy with a really, really outside start there, and he's the only one I've seen opts to go for the different side around the pole. But he makes more mistakes, and Dionysos, however you say his name, is dead, and that's what matters. But now we come into a little bit of a choke point coming through here. Both players survive unscathed though. Mimo is in first place though, and this is going to be a key result for him if he can take home 10 points from this round. If he manages to take it home, he gets himself back into the fight for the top 2. The ending is cometh, and he manages to pull it off no problem. And 2 good rounds coming out at the start. And is this the start of the comeback from Mimo?
Yeah, I mean, this is really what he needs, and you could have seen how he saved the ending. He just wanted those 10 pointers, and I think this could make the semi-final really interesting, as we can see GranaDy and Mimo, I mean, come both a little bit closer towards that first place because Dionysos made that mistake. But let's go into that second round. Let's keep an eye on GranaDy, who seems to struggle a little bit because I think that he is most likely the fastest player here, as he has a very good start. Look at that, he's already 0.1 of a second behind, but he opted for a little bit more outside line and therefore inside line, and therefore yeah, got overtaken by the other players there. So we see Carl, however, in first, and Mimo as well as GranaDy are battling it out for that second place. Oh, but Carl had to readjust his line, and Mimo is pulling ahead here, as he is 0.4 of a second out of the second place, which is a battle here between Dionysos and GranaDy as well as Carl. But Dionysos makes the mistake, and who will get that second place? Is it GranaDy or... Oh my god, what was that close ending jump by GranaDy? That was super risky, but eventually GranaDy is granting himself 6 points, but Mimo again with 10 points, so greatly done for him. First and second place only granting themselves 4 and 3 points, so this is getting closer and closer, and a little bit cozy, I would say.
Yeah, it is a little bit cozy. I mean, everyone's getting nice and together, and it's certainly not to keep warmth between each other. So, I mean, the fight for the top 2 is definitely heating up. There's 2 points between first and second, and GranaDy going in a completely different track there. But at the moment, Dionysos has already a strong lead in this round, and Mimo's going to have his work cut out here if he wants to take a third winning round in a row at the very least. Coming through this choke point, Dionysos does survive unscathed. The same with Mimo here. And he did perform very well on the later sections of this track, but it is a very small track as well. So Dionysos, as long as he keeps a good ending here, he should be able to keep it good, and he is fine. So a 41.39 being done there by Dionysos, and that is a very impressive recovery from some, less than ideal starting rounds there. He gets himself up to the top of the board, and he's in first place. I mean, the one player I wasn't so familiar of is currently leading.
Yeah, so I mean, Dionysos really showing what he's able to do, and even on a track where he maybe doesn't feel that comfortable, he was eventually granting himself that first place. I thought for a minute in the end that he has touched or something like that, but that wasn't the case, as he moves into the first place yet again here in the start. Mimo's chasing him, and Mimo with a little bit more speed as he is going for that nose slide, and therefore I thought for a minute he's granting himself that first place, but that isn't the case. Dionysos with a very risky line,
so
and Mimo actually is right now in first, so we have a little bit of an anticlimactic round, as every player is a little bit, has a little bit of a gap, as Mimo will just stay in first place here. No position changes here in the end. Nope. Mimo in first, Dionysos in second, GranaDy in third, and Carl in last place. But with a 42.15, you would have been second in some rounds, but no really hard mistake being done by one of the players here.
Yeah, they all keep it relatively good there, but that is round number... map number 3, I think that is, down now, with inclusion of the little bit of a strange map we started off with. But wait, now we're back to it.
Hold on.
Hold on. Oh, we're going back for another 2 rounds on this new map. So,
Ooh,
and
GranaDy was good here.
it doesn't seem to be Carl's very happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, GranaDy was very good here on this map. Just excluding the mistake that he did. But so I could see him maybe capitalizing from this map as well as Mimo. But let's see what Dionysos is doing, because he's right now in the lead with 7 points of a difference between him and the second place. But of course, top 2 will advance, so it will not really matter if you're first or second unless you go through. But it will be super interesting to see who's gonna take it, as we see GranaDy opting for this line. And I'm not sure if it's faster because you're going into a drift afterwards again. So Mimo, the fastest guy here in the warm-up, and GranaDy will actually overtake him here in the end with a 41.38. So what a great time. Only 200ths of a second behind his PB. Wow, what a good warm-up here, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone seems to have figured out the map, at least to the point where they're able to challenge coming through this. And it's one of the important things about having a map that you're not so used to. It takes some time when you're training a map to learn how to risk, to learn how to safe. I mean, we do have a lot of players figuring out the track as they go along. I mean, it is only a track they discovered pretty much half an hour ago, so that is certainly understandable, using a lot of different blocks which aren't used throughout the normal cycle. But we see here starting off well in Mimo and Dionysos, everyone actually surviving unscathed, so perhaps everyone's going a little bit safer here now that they know that, of course, they're not very well prepared on
GranaDy
these maps.
first.
But GranaDy, what a line coming through there, and he's going to contain a lot of speed coming through here, but there's no big straights to take advantage of it. And now Mimo has a really good exit coming through here. It's going to be close. It's all going to come down into the ending here. Carl going for a different line, and GranaDy takes it. Where did Dionysos even go there? And Carl doesn't even get into the finish.
You can't you finish from there? Wait,
you need to go back a little bit because of the magnet. But wow, I mean this map's even throwing us into a spin.
So I think Dionysos didn't get the magnet there and therefore yeeted off. But GranaDy actually granting himself 10 points. It is now up to 80 points. So look how close this is. Only Dionysos is the player who's right now 10 points ahead of the other players. But let's go into the second round here, as we see different approaches here for the first bubble. Again, GranaDy went for a little bit of a lower jump, and therefore, yeah, I think it's not the best line, but the real decider comes now. If players go for the jump here or not,
Carl's
and GranaDy, look at the GranaDy speed, but this is the risk you take. And yeah, Carl is dead here. Carl is dead.
Dionysos as well.
Yeah, and now we have a battle here for that first place between Mimo and GranaDy, but Mimo touching.
Everyone's dead.
Oh yeah, everyone is dead, and this is exactly what GranaDy is needing here, just to grant him, granting him 90 points now. Look at this, 41.15 for him. Mimo in second, 85 points for him. And Dionysos, is he able to finish? Yes, he is. He's able to make that jump. And Carl, yeah, I think Carl is not. No, he's not able to finish.
So he's in a different time zone. He's that far behind. Oh my god.
So Carl will drop down to last place actually. It's GranaDy now being 1 point behind Mimo, who's in second, and Dionysos still in first with 99 points. But we'll move on to the tag map now, and I can really see the player who's right now in last can grant himself maybe some valuable points.
This was a map he started off on the best, if I remember correctly, but I mean, one other thing to note is 4 rounds per map here, we are guaranteed to see a finalist.
Yeah, I think so as well. We will most likely see a finalist. And this could end on in 2 or 3 maps here, as we see all players being closer and closer together here. Only 14 points of a difference between 4th and last place. So this is definitely showing the level here of the semifinal, that it's really, really, how to say that no player is really pulling away, and everyone has like his map to play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it does go to show the level of all of these players that have managed to get to this point. I mean, as I said, when it coming to a semi-final of a cup like this with so many interested participants, because we started off with over 100 people, of course, just for those who do forget, when it does come down to the final 8, you are getting the cream of the crop.
Yeah, and that's what we definitely have here. We can see the players who have practiced a lot. I mean, there are some guys like Aurel who practiced the tracks today and dropping times which are really crazy. But let's go into the first round. I want to keep my eye here on Carl, who's right now in last position, but he has 85 points, so nothing is decided here yet. Of course, He's still lacking 35 points till the finalist mode, but right now he's a really good start, as well as Mimo and GranaDy. The only player who finds himself a little bit behind is Dionysos, so he has to risk it a little bit more. As we see GranaDy going into the jump very, very smooth, and yeah, it actually paid off, but right now he drops a little bit further behind.
Big slowdown there for GranaDy.
Yeah, I've not captured that, but look at this flip from Mimo. What happened to him there? As we can see here, the battle here yet again between Dionysos and Carl. So Carl goes for that outside approach. Again, it has more speed. Dionysos will most likely stay in that second place because Carl won't mess it up. A world champion won't mess up this ending. So great job there from Carl. Well needed 10 points for him.
And a nice time as well being done by him. Looking good so far, but I mean 43.8 starting us off with, and that's what we were talking about. I mean, the OG himself did start off very well at the start of this match. Well, when this map was on its first cycle, he's now up to 95 points. There is 1 point separating 3 people here, and then there's Dionysos all at the top, sitting comfortable at 105, but maybe not so comfortable in this round here. Is starting off early on. He is, of course, not stretching out from the pipe, as I say that. It's a lovely line coming through here and overtake. Seems the only player outside of this pack is GranaDy. He does find himself 2/10 behind and on the back foot here in this round. Mimo avoids the flip this time, so I'm sure he'll be grateful for. Dionysos and Carl now going toe-to-toe here as Mimo goes toe-to-toe with the pole and loses. But Dionysos tried to keep up some speed coming through here, but Carl with a very tight line, just avoiding both pillars or both roadblocks there, and will improve, or will actually get roughly the same time and once again take home 10 points. But Dionysos gets 6, and most importantly, that puts him within 1 round of finalists, Carl within 2, but GranaDy and Mimo still struggling to even get past the 100 point mark.
Yeah, so I mean, you can really see why Dionysos is in that first place right now, because he's granting himself those important second places here. He's just capitalizing from the mistakes that GranaDy and Mimo are doing if they are not being on a round. As I say that, we see Mimo, GranaDy not with the best start here yet again, as he misaligns his drift there. And also the ending here, I want to stress that one out. Carl decides to go for a very wide ending section here, as we can see here, a really neck-and-neck battle here for that first place. But we will see Carl is going for that wide approach here, and he will eventually have more speed compared to the other players. So this shows why this guy is one, or used to be one of the best tech players. Dionysos, however, yet again in second place, coming closer towards Carl though. But it wasn't enough, but he will be at 117 points, and this means that he is only 1 finish away of granting himself the finalist status.
Yeah, and Carl as well, if he gets top 2 here, as he's been performing very well throughout this entire map, then he is very possible. It's very possible that he could see himself being finalist in the next round as well, so we could potentially have a double finalist coming into the next round, with GranaDy and Mimo definitely needing to pick up their game here. I mean, I was talking up GranaDy here for being a very consistent player, and he's having a lot of mistakes here, but it's time to get his head back in the game. So he starts off well here, he goes a bit of an alternate line, but will actually drop some speed as I say that. Dionysos and Mimo up at the top. So Mimo, at the very least, one of the players I was calling out, needs to start picking up the pace
Carl.
here. Oh, Carl does survive though. He's on good for a top 2 here.
Mimo.
And that finalist I was talking about, but GranaDy makes a big mistake. He's going to be out of it. Mimo might take it though. He might take first place, and actually Carl gets overtaken as well. And that's super important, because that means Carl will get the slap in the face.
Oh, that was
119.
Oh, that was such a bad ending there from Carl, because he touched the roadblock there, the barrier of the roadblock, and therefore didn't get the smoothest landing. But 119 points, this is so unfortunate for him. Mimo at 110, only 1 victory away of him granting himself the finalist status as well. But we're going into the next map, and we have actually a finalist by the name of Dionysos, who played very consistent and therefore deserved to grant himself the finalist status. GranaDy only 15 points behind, and it's all of the 3 players' turn to deny Dionysos.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, on this map, this was one of the maps where we did see a good round, and a very strong round actually, from every single player involved here.
Yep.
So, I mean, it is, I would say, anyone's game, it must be said. I mean, certainly anyone can have a chance at taking home some good points here and getting themselves up to finalist mode, I think. But if you get any others that you're thinking are going to be more likely to take it home than the others?
I think it it is a player with the strongest nerve at this point. I've seen Mimo, he can really perform under those pressure situations. Then of course we have the OG world champion by the name of Cole. Dionysos, I mean, he has more finalist attempts than the other guys. And GranaDy has also the pace, but I don't know how he can perform under pressure. So it's anyone's game here, and of course you need a little bit of luck. But I think this map could be here in favor of GranaDy, as he finds himself in the zone right now and is first in the warm-up. So hopefully he can replicate exactly this start here in the live round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, starting off very well and finishing very well.
Yeah, good time.
But I mean, the thing is for this is exactly as you said there. You need to be keeping your head cool going through these sort of situations, because otherwise you might lose your power of judgment. You might risk when you didn't need to risk, and that can be a key difference, of course, when coming into these sort of maps. But again, some of these players do have callers with them. They will be having the voice in their ear telling them who's in front, who's behind. But at the moment, who's in front is Carl with a really strong start here and going very well into that right-hander. He will go for a low jump, and that'll mean he can initiate left very quickly. Dionysos having issues early on here on his first finalist attempt at the moment. Needs to pick up the pace here. Mimo and Carl fighting tooth and nail for the first two positions, but Dionysos gets a nice jump there, as does GranaDy, a very low jump. So Mimo at the moment might sacrifice the lead here. Dionysos gaining a great amount of speed coming through there. Mimo messes up the drift, and now it's going to be a 3-horse race coming into the last half of the track. Dionysos goes for a little bit of a lower engagement for that wall there. Does go for a very wide drift. He won't get a full booster there. That means Mimo's going to get a lot of speed, and he's going to pull away. Very close to the inside as Dionysos trying to catch up, but it looks as if Mimo has this. Has he recovered and stolen the 10 points? He has.
Wow, what a round. GranaDy in last with a 103.38. So yeah, not even 1 second behind WR. And we now have a triple finalist situation. So GranaDy is the one to deny all of the other remaining players. So let's keep it out on GranaDy. Unfortunately, he didn't get himself that second place, which would have meant that he can grant himself finalist now. He's at 108 points. Right now he has a good start, as we can see Dionysos and Cole with a good start, as well as GranaDy, but not getting the smoothest landing here. Dionysos actually clipping the block, and he will be out on this round. He won't have a saying. He has low speed, and he will be multiple hundreds of a second behind all of the players. As we see Mimo in third, and GranaDy actually. GranaDy in first. So he wants to make an exciting jump. So low, but he fails it. And it's between Mimo and Cole. Who will take it here? Who will take that first place? And it will be super important for GranaDy, however, to finish this round, as we see Mimo having a lot of speed over Cole. So who's gonna take it here? Mimo in a comfortable lead. Cole goes for that inside jump. What a risk here from the French player. Mimo actually touching the CP. And it will be Cole who goes through into the final here. GG's to him, and that's what I meant. He has the nerves, he has the experience, and GG deserved for him. Cole is qualifying himself for the Evoleaf edition number 2 final. GG.
Yeah, GG's for Carl then. And I mean, you've got to say, when you want a cool head in the game, there's almost no other player you can turn to who has more experienced. I mean, when I think about it, of course, he was...
GranaDy not able to finish.
Oh, so he's not even going to be finalist. He's going to have 2 rounds to go. That's a disaster. But here we go. Potentially the final round here. GranaDy has it all to do. He has 2 rounds of which he needs to win here, or else it is game over. Evoleaf tournament will be over. Dionysos and MimoJr here, both on finalist. Dionysos goes for a very, very inside and very risky jump here, but GranaDy is in the fight. Mimo also gets a lot of speed, and he roulettes up to the first place. Dionysos lost some speed. It looks like he's going to be out of it. He is, unless GranaDy wins this round, and he finds himself 1500s. Bang! It's a landing bug!
Oh, no way!
And Mimo has it in the back here, as long as he can avoid some mistakes here. But what a landing bug for GranaDy. He's going to be tearing that wheel off the hub, I can guarantee you. But Mimo here, let's keep an eye on him to make sure he survives. That will be gutting, no doubt, for some of the other players. But Mimo still has a few sections left here. This long left-hander on the uphill, and he does avoid the wall. As Mimo going to snipe second place. Wow. He is your second grand finalist, but what a final round there.
Unlucky for GranaDy here. It was the bug for Yannex, and now it's actually GranaDy who gets a landing bug. So yeah, I mean, welcome to Trackmania 2. But this is really the worst timing that you could possibly get in such a decisive round. GranaDy, unfortunately, not able to qualify himself, as well as Dionysos, who was almost in first for the whole race. Oh, man.
Yeah, that last map especially turned everything up in its head there.
Oh, man.